Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Python. My name is Alicia, and I will be your instructor for this week's video. I'm going to cover additional setup options and vocabulary. Let's get started. In last week's video, we walked you through the process of downloading Python, and we realized that this may not be an option for everyone. So we wanted to point out that there are several free websites that will allow you to type code and see a preview in real time. The 5 Minute Python team uses Replit, which is spelled REPL.IT. It is a free platform. It's all web-based. You can share what you type with anyone. It works on multiple platforms, so you can use it on your tablet, your phone, or your computer. You just need an email address and a password to get started. So talking about vocabulary, we'll start with a variable. What is a variable? A variable holds information in the code. It holds a string, which is text recorded in a single or double quotation marks. It also holds numbers. You can see at the bottom, I included 2 examples of variables. It's important to note that traditionally you wouldn't actually name a variable. For the sake of this presentation, and to simplify it, I went ahead and just named the variables. Traditionally, you would name them something to reflect the information you've included in it. So if you were collecting names, you would call it name or names. You would color, numbers, something like that. Variables also contain numbers. Now numbers appear in multiple forms. You have integers, which are whole numbers, floats, which are numbers with decimal points, and it's also important to note your number can also appear in a string. Now, a string does not perform the same way with a number, but we'll talk more about that later when we actually get down to typing your code. But integers and floats can be multiplied and added, all sorts of stuff like that. But we'll also get there a little later too. Now we're going to talk about functions and comments. The functions we're going to talk about today, we're going to start with input. The input function is used to request a user response. So if you look at our example below, there's a variable $input, and you'll see parentheses. Now in the parentheses you'll see a string. Now this string is where you would put your question or whatever you're asking the user to input. If you were asking for their name, you could put what is your name, or name : or age, anything. Whatever you put in there is going to be what the user sees. Now, inputs freeze the program. So basically, user cannot bypass this section. They have to input something for the code to continue processing. Now, the print function actually takes code and makes variables, numbers, and other pieces of data visible. So, for example, I made a variable, added a string that says red, and I told Python to print that variable. Now, in this situation, it will print what's in that variable. So it printed the string red, as you can see here on the right. But if I put a number in there, like 4, it would print 4. If I told it to print whatever 4 times 4 was, it would print 16. Or you could just put a string in there. It would print it. That's how the print function works. It's actually pretty interesting. Now, comments are notes written inside code to help organize information in the program. So say you have to stop working, or you wanted to remember that the information in this variable corresponds with this information input. You put those notes. It always starts with a hashtag, and it's always grayed out. The user will never see this information. Everything we have for today. So thank you for joining us, or me, and see you next time. Bye!